Perspectives.
I'm Tanya.
I'm Kashish. I'm Aarti. I'm Rashida. I'm Srushti.
And I'm Unnati.
Welcome to the first episode of Perspectives. Today we have with us Simran Sharma. She is the co-founder at Yoda Elder Care, also the leading product manager and marketing executive at Yoda Care. She has been awarded with 30 Under 30 Business World Award. Keep watching to listen, engage and inspire. Hello everyone, I'm delighted to introduce our very first guest, Ms. Simran Sharma. She's from Yoda Elder Care. How are you? Hello.
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, welcome to the college.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, our aim today with this conversation is that you have made it in your career, and a lot of youngsters they have questions regarding a lot of things, and they need insights from you as well. So, can you tell us about yourself and your journey a bit?
Yes. So, I was born in the US and I moved to India when I was about 8 years old. I completed my studies over here and then I returned back to Canada to complete my college education. I studied at the University of Waterloo. But unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, I spent a lot of that time studying online. And because of that, though, I got the opportunity to start working at Yoda. Initially, I was studying to be a doctor actually, but very quickly I realized my passion for applying technology to social causes, such as elder care and women's safety that we do at Yoda. Initially, I started off in marketing. I then worked my way up to product management, and now I am heavily involved in all aspects of the business.
That's really good of you. So, congratulations on receiving a prestigious award that is Business World 30 Under 30. Please tell us what all it took you to reach here and win this award.
Sure. So the award was not just my award, the award was everybody that I work with. It was a recognition of the work we do. See, the elder care space in India is a growing space as the country ages. We started off building technology for senior citizens, focusing heavily on emergency management for them. Then we realized that the same technology that we built could be used to solve another crisis that India is facing, that is with regards to women's safety. Since this work is relatively new, it's noble, it's unique, it quickly caught the attention of a lot of journalists, and from there, that ultimately led me to receiving the award.
We also heard that you're a keen poker player. What draws your interest towards that?
So, I first observed my parents playing poker in Las Vegas a couple of years ago. There's also something known as the World Series of Poker, which is a global scale large tournament. And my curiosity sparked because I saw that being streamed on ESPN, which is a sports channel. I was very confused as to why a card game would be on a sports channel. And at that point, my father clarified to me that it's not gambling, it's a game of skill. But anyway, I put it on the back burner for a little while. And then once I was taking a gap year, so I took a gap year before university, my interest rekindled and I started playing free roll tournaments online. So these are tournaments where you don't have to pay to enter. And the winnings from these were, for 50, 100 rupees. And saving that up, I was allowed to start playing bigger tournaments. Eventually, there's another tournament series that's run. It's called the World Poker Tour. I came second out of 20,000 players over there. Thank you. And then I played the same thing again last year. I achieved a podium finish. But what really draws me towards the game is that it really mimics real life because your decision making, your emotions, and perseverance are all key to success.
Thank you so much. It was so impressive to know about you. So, is there something more about you that might surprise people who know you only in a professional context?
I think what would surprise people the most is the difference in my personalities between work and outside. In work, people would say that I'm very strict, that I'm very dedicated only to one thing, whereas in reality, I'm a very chilled out person. I spend all my free time hanging out with my dog. So I think it's just a big personality difference that would surprise people the most.
But you actually look very chill. You don't look
Well, that's something you would have to tell my colleagues back at work.
Okay. So now that we have talked about Yoda Care so much, can you tell us an overview of Yoda Care and what kind of services Yoda Care provides?
Sure.
Yoda Care is a full service offering for senior citizens. It's available in multiple cities across India, such as Pune, Mumbai, Hyderabad, and Chennai. There are three key components of the service. So, number one is emergency response. The second is healthcare facilitation or support. And the third is concierge services. So, anything from their bill payments to any travel arrangements they want made to any legal assistance. We employ only ex-army veterans to deliver on-ground support. So that is, if they would like somebody to take them to the doctor or actually assisting them in times of emergency. And we do that because they're very disciplined and very trustworthy people. They also have strong feelings of empathy and a very strong sense of duty back to the country and the people. We've invested heavily in building out a technology stack, and that's so that our operations are consistent and reliable, and they're also focused on data privacy. Yoda Care also has other value-added services such as companionship, because a lot of elders tend to get lonely, senior travel, so we're actually taking a trip to Ayodhya at the end of this year, nursing and caregiving support, and more.
That's so amazing that you're looking ahead for some social work for the society. So, since Yoda Care is a startup, how did you all initially fund Yoda Elder Care, and did you rely on some personal investments or loans or something?
Sure. So our business was funded through a combination of personal and early stage investments. We have some notable investors such as Mr. Anand Deshpande, he is the founder and chairman of Persistent Systems, Mr. Sridhar Shukla, who is the founder of GS Labs and K-Point, and Mr. Monish Darda, who is co-founder of iSearches.
Okay, so the funding that you all secured, the recent funding, could you share some details about that and how do you plan to allocate those funds?
Sure.
So till date, Yoda has raised approximately $2.2 million in funding. Primarily, our funds have been allocated to technology development, sales and marketing, and perfecting our operating procedures. We're the only elder care company in the market which has a strong technology backbone. Other providers tend to rely on informal channels to communicate, such as WhatsApp. Now, the problem with that is if an elder is having an emergency at 3 a.m., nobody is checking WhatsApp, and time is of the essence in these situations. So we have a very modern technology stack which is cloud native, elastic, and reliable. And in the 4 years that we've been operational, we've not had a system outage even once. So not even for maintenance or upgrades.
It's so impressive. So, okay. We have also heard that you have received a patent under your name. Can you tell us more about it and what the patent is about?
Sure. So the patent that we have applied for is with regards to emergency response and management. So there are two key components to the patent. Number one is identifying the person in trouble. A lot of times, especially in India, people get into vehicle accidents on the road, and it becomes very hard to identify who the person is, who their loved ones are, what their blood group is, what allergies they may have, so on and so forth. And then they're often taken to the hospital as a John Doe, right? Also in India, sometimes people don't know which ambulance number to call. Government ambulances will take them to government facilities, which may or may not be equipped to handle the situation. So what we've done is a two-factor way to recognize who has been in an incident and then protocols to get the situation under control. So anybody who is in an emergency, we issue QR codes to them. Any good Samaritan can scan the QR code. So it simply says scan here in times of emergency. When that happens, a web browser opens and the person needs to visually identify the individual. So first is there'll be one real image of the person and 6 AI generated images. They have to first identify the real image because a lot of people like to scan QR codes for fun. And we don't want to raise panic that they've been in an emergency every time somebody scans the QR code. Once they've correctly identified who has been in trouble, they have to go through a secondary authentication. So that may be they have a tattoo or a scar, color of the eyes, any birthmark. And then we can say, with that, the certainty that this individual has been in an emergency. So as an example, if they have only identified the face, but not an identifying mark, then it's like 50% sure that they've been in an emergency. If they've identified everything properly, then it's 100% certainty. We also go one step further. So if the person says, no, it's none of these people that have been in an emergency, then we can take our user's family. So his spouse, children, the chauffeur in the car, anybody who's likely to be there. And then we can identify them as well. And what happens then is, since they're a user on our platform, there's a lot of information which we already have. So their medical profiles, their insurance information, their preferred hospital, and so we can get the situation under control. The second aspect of this patent is the moderation. So currently we offer moderation pan India. This is emergency moderation. Soon we want to move into an AI-based model where AI would moderate emergencies for people. And this involves telling them exactly how to get the situation under control. So we would tell the Good Samaritan, here is the nearest ambulance. This is a reliable provider. Please call this person. We would guide their local guardian, let's say a neighbor, to the hospital to begin hospital admission procedures with the information we have in the app. So it's a very comprehensive emergency response that we have patented.
But don't you think like with this they need like you need to educate people about
Absolutely, we do. So a big part of what we do is when everybody comes onto our platform, there is a lot of content available for them to consume, to learn how to use the app. And then we're constantly in communication with them, saying this is how you handle an emergency, this is your role to play. So we keep that constant communication going.
Those were some valuable insights on your app. Also, what kind of skills and qualities do you seek when hiring care providers for your company?
Sure. So our field care representatives, which are those that are providing in-person assistance to our elders, they come straight from the army, as I mentioned. We only hire those which have clean character certificates and flawless background checks. And the qualities that we look for in them include empathy, service orientation, and discipline. And that's highly important, especially because we deal with emergencies. And then we also have something known as primary care representatives. So these are those that provide remote and routine assistance, so bill payments and so on. And they must be gentle, they must be patient because we are dealing with senior citizens, and they must be diligent in their work. And I am very proud to say that we have so many happy testimonials from our customers that constantly praise their work ethic.
That's so good. So, since you talked about hiring, according to you, which industries and business will are likely to boom in the next few years?
So, it's very difficult to predict anything at this moment in time because of the advent of AI. Industries, as we know it, will change, and new industries are going to come up. If you take film production as an example, AI could completely change how we know it. Everything from writing the screenplay to conducting the cinematography, right? But that's a very long-term vision. I would say in the short term, some industries that may bloom are fintech, renewable energy, and quick commerce.
Since we talked about industries, how should a business leader handle failures and losses? Because every business has failures and losses.
So, like you said, every business is going to have its ups and downs. The key mantra for any startup is fall down 7 times, get up 8, right? While doing a startup, you're going to face all types of challenges. You're going to need to get your first customer. You need to have somebody to have faith in you and invest money with you. You need to go through trial and error to get your products and services perfected. And in all of this, mistakes are inevitable because nobody can get it right at the first try. But I think people need to realize that a mistake is not a failure. It's simply a stepping stone to a better tomorrow. And what I believe is that mistake truly drives innovation.
That's like such a nice line.
Thank you. It's all from personal experience, We have gone through so much iterations of our product to get to where we are today. But not once did we say, no, this is not going to work. It's just how can we make it better?
So, how has working with elders changed your perspective on life, aging, and relationships?
Working before Yoda, my only interaction with senior citizens was with my grandparents. Now I have such a newfound respect for them. Through their life, they have gained so much wisdom, so much knowledge, and they're such caring individuals. Some people tend to avoid spending time with them because they feel like elders say the same story again and again. But our perspective on that is they have given so much to society, and it's time that we give back to them, and we give them that companionship, and we give them that support that they need. It's also given me a very positive outlook on aging. Before Yoda, I was of course a little bit nervous, not for my own aging. I mean, we're still very young, but definitely my parents.
Yeah.
But now I see that they handle it with such grace that it's not something to be afraid of.
Any emotional story that you can think of with like aging and
Any like backstory?
That the most emotional experience that I've had with an elder is with my own grandmom. Unfortunately, she was detected with a very aggressive form of breast cancer in 2019. Now, what had happened is unfortunately she knew she had cancer 3 years before that. But she did not want to burden the family with that knowledge, so she kept it to herself. And by the time we found out, it was too late. We did aggressive chemotherapy, aggressive radiation, but 6 months later, she passed away. And I've seen this happen so many times. Recently, my grandfather had a fall. And again, he did not tell us because he does not want to stress us out. And I've seen this with a lot of our clients as well. This whole notion that I'm not going to tell you and I'm going to keep my problems to myself is really something that needs to change, because a lot of preventable problems then go disproportionate.
yeah.
So I would say that's my most emotional story.
How many years have you spent in this business, in this line?
4 years now. Yeah. So still relatively new, but 4 years. And till date, we have 25,000 people on our platform. We are hoping to hit 100,000 at the end of this year, and then hit the 1 million milestone sometime soon.
You were quite young. What age did you start?
So I started working at age 19, and I'm going to be 23 next month, sorry. Yes.
And that wraps up today's episode. Well, we just want to thank you, Simran, for joining us. It was an amazing conversation with you as we discussed about your business and your interests and conversations here. And thank you so much for sharing your insights and experiences. Yeah, we were truly inspired to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Also, before we sign off, a big shout out to our team and mentors for supporting us, and thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to check out our latest post on our Instagram, the link for which is provided in the description. So that's all for today. See you next time.